is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And of course, you are with us on our Anything Can Happen Friday. And today, Anything Can Happen, we will going to talk about something that will be happening really large in the coming months.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest event and then slash festivals in Malaysia, but not only in the Malaysian scale, but also it can go even further to ASEAN region.
And of course, we are talking about Diversecity. It's a KL Arts Festival, and together with us, of course, we have the festival director, Datin Sunita, to share with us what the festival is all about and what do they have catering to all the Malaysians and Southeast Asians out there. So, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the studio.
Thanks very much for having me here.
You're welcome.
Yes, of course. And first of all, I've been through the Facebook event page where you have the diversity pamphlet and all that, and I can tell you it's really, really exciting just by the look of it. Of course, I need to interview you and to know more about this. So, what is actually diversity and why you call it diversities?
It's quite interesting, isn't it, the name? So originally it was supposed to be the Kuala Lumpur International Arts Festival, but that just sounds so corporate and it sounds so proper, and the acronym KLIAF, it just didn't do anything to us. So we wanted a brand name, as it were. And
Malaysians, sometimes you use too many acronyms for everything.
That's right. And so an editor of one of the luxury lifestyle magazines, we were having dinner one evening, and she said, you know what we're really showcasing is that Kuala Lumpur is a diverse city. And we love that idea, because we're such a melting pot. We're the most heterogeneous country in ASEAN in terms of race, culture, language, and we thought it would be interesting to say that this is our differentiating factor, Kuala Lumpur.
And it is very easy to remember after all. I mean, it just spells a bit differently how we spell diversity, but it's very catchy and then easy to remember after all.
And the whole logo itself, it has a few sketches. Of course, you have the Twin Tower in the middle, but then you have some different sketches of some different elements in it. And these are the contents of the event itself, right?
Being the first year of the festival, we thought hard about how we wanted to portray the brand in the logo. And so we thought we're really going to piggyback off the KL skyline, because it's already so iconic, so world famous. Anybody looking at it anywhere in the world will recognize it. And then we wanted to draw around that. So you notice the skyline is actually in a dull color, and then you've got the different artistic elements in multiple colors. So what we're trying to say is that, and you'll see this on the website as well, that the skyline of Kuala Lumpur, the physical infrastructure is already very beautiful, but we put it in black and white. And then in color, this pop of color is the actual experience. Come to Kuala Lumpur and experience the culture, the arts, the friendly people, and it's going to be completely different to just seeing a black and white photo of the skyline. That was the idea.
So it's got quite deep meaning inside this logo.
But Kuala Lumpur as a whole, I mean, it's quite diverse, not just with its population, but with its foods and culture and all that. But what diversity is trying to capture in this particular event? What kind of essence of Kuala Lumpur that probably you might want to get through?
I think Kuala Lumpur is an extraordinary city. You get so many layers of life and living in it, especially if you're really willing to get out and meet people. An American expatriate who's living in Kuala Lumpur told me that it's strange because the service culture isn't as good as some of our neighboring countries.
Really? Malaysian complains a lot, that means.
So the service culture might not be as good, but when you actually start living here and you're no longer a tourist, you really realize that Malaysians are so much more friendly compared to a lot of our neighboring countries.
So the friendly part is the one element that actually somehow make Kuala Lumpur a city that is attractive to a lot of people.
I think part of the reason why we end up being so friendly and sociable and comfortable with different races and backgrounds is that we ourselves have these different races and backgrounds in us. If you think about it, if the Orang Asli population in this country is 0.5%, Everybody else came after the Orang Asli. Yeah, so, and we're not as simple as just Malay, Chinese, Indian. I think we're much more complex. We appreciate each other's cultural diversity a lot more than we're given credit for. And this festival is one way of celebrating that.
So one area is to capture that complexity because, I mean, me coming from a very, I guess, dry background of politics, whenever we talk about Kuala Lumpur, it's always Vision 2020. Okay, what's the next budget that we have? What kind of growth that we want to have for Kuala Lumpur? But we fail to see that there is a human element towards the urban area in Kuala Lumpur. And let's talk about what kind of objective that you want to achieve in diversity, because I know that you have a few areas of programs that you want to showcase to the Malaysian public as well as Southeast Asian.
So we have 5 genres. We have dance, music, comedy, traditional performances and literature, mainly Malay literature. And in these 5 genres, we have almost 200 shows coming up in September. On every single weekend during the 5 weeks, we have between 8 to 16 prime time shows at 8:30, 90-minute length shows. So it's quite an ambitious program. When you're talking about objectives, we have different levels of objective. At the first level, yes, we would like to stage the shows. We would like to have the shows sold out, as many visitors coming as possible. Not just Malaysians, but from ASEAN and maybe even further abroad. On another level, we would like people to leave with a newfound appreciation of the complexity of our culture. We would like to put Kuala Lumpur on the world map in terms of, if you're looking for authentic Asian-based arts and culture, this festival is where you want to be. Whether you're a festival director from another country shopping for Asian performing arts, come here and look for it. Whether you're a visitor that's interested in learning more about Asian culture, or whether you're Malaysian or someone from Bentong who's driving in to see a show, I think this is something that all of us can appreciate. And it's an important part of being a civilized society. In a rapidly urbanizing environment where everybody lives in cities, sometimes you forget that aspect of living.
And it is very interesting because this year was announced as a festival year, 2015. And this diversity whole month in September definitely meets what this year is supposed to be. And a lot of people will be expecting to go for this every shows, around 200 shows over a month.
I'm so glad you said that. I really hope so, that people are encouraged to go out multiple times. So we're trying to make it so that half of the shows are free and the other half are very affordable. So come out with your friends, your family, bring your friends from ASEAN in.
We will discuss about the show a bit later on the second segment, but I want to know more about, some key information about the whole program itself. So you have 200 shows, and how many performers that you have, or people that will be part of this organizing team?
We're still trying to finalize the lineup, but in terms of just flights coming in to Kuala Lumpur, we're speaking of 240 return tickets to Kuala Lumpur.
Wow.
So, and in terms of locals, for example, just the music genre, we've got over 200 local musicians signed up already. Because it's not just mega music concerts out in the open that we're looking at, but we're also looking at throughout the month. And when I say month, it's actually 5 weeks, because we overlap into the first week of October, at jazz clubs, at pubs, at night performing spots, that we're also going to showcase independent bands. I think it's important for us that we use this opportunity to really turn the spotlight on very, very talented local performing artists.
Yeah, especially in Malaysia. So many local artists are looking for platforms, but there's just not many of it for them, unfortunately. And this will be one of the, the big area that they can definitely explore. And besides that, what about in terms of venues and the scale of audience that you are looking at?
We've got over 20 venues signed up right now. Half of them are government owned or government linked, and the other half are private sector. All in, we're expecting about 180,000 visitors.
Wow.
Yeah. It doesn't mean people, because a visitor can go for a few shows, but we're hoping that we can meet this target.
Are you also collaborating with other partners, like maybe Mayor of KL?
Oh yes, definitely. The various government organizations have been super supportive. Under Ministry of Tourism and Culture, there are actually various departments and agencies, and we need to work with them separately. So there's Istana Budaya, there's the National Department for Culture and Arts, there's also the event organizing units, there's Tourism Malaysia that promote tourism. So we're working closely with all of them, and definitely the Mayor, Tan Sri Faisal, has been very supportive personally as well, and City Hall are helping us in any way that they can.
That's amazing. Anyway, we will take one short break. When we return, we will talk more about what kind of programs that we have and what you guys should be awaiting in the coming months for the Diversity 2000.
Anything can happen Friday. The art and cultural side of Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
And of course, you're still with us, and of course, we are also discussing on the Anything Can Happen Friday. And with us is Datin, Sunita. Hi. And talking about the events that we'll be having at Diversecity, perhaps we can break it down one by one. Let's start with something that is funny, which is comedy. And of course, in Malaysia, whenever it comes to comedy, we always think about Malaysian politics, because that's where we get all our jokes.
And also racist.
But this is a serious one. When it comes to comedy in Diversity, you have Harith Iskandar, which is the father of all comedians, as the curator of this event. Perhaps you want to share more about it?
Okay, I think the branding that he would like to use is not exactly father of all comedians, but the godfather of Malaysian stand-up comedy in Malaysia.
Stand-up comedies. Yes, that's the one.
But not the father of all comedians, otherwise his wife might have a problem with
Oops.
Okay, yes, he is the curator, and he is also the producer for the Kuala Lumpur International Comedy Festival. It's a very ambitious lineup, and there's a little bit of something for everyone. He's bringing in 60 comedians for a one-week comedy festival, and it is going to take place across 5 different locations. The smallest location will be the Bee and Crack House, with maybe about 150 person only. And then there's Black Box and White Box at Public Car, and we're hoping to get a large stage venue confirmed on a sponsored basis, which is the KLCC Convention Centre Plenary Theatre, just under 3,000 pax. So these are large stand-up comedy shows that we're targeting.
Wow. And who are these comedians?
Okay, so we've got someone from Korea, a group from Korea called Ong Girls. I believe you've heard of them?
Yeah, actually it's pronounced as Ong Als.
Ong Als.
Because Ong Als, it's a sound the babies make. If you've seen the performances, it's non-verbal performance, and they just purely based on their behavior and how they a lot of gestures. So they just sort of imitate the baby's behavior on the stage. Yeah, so that's called Ong Als.
This is why we were so confident to bring in a Korean performing team.
And other than that, we have other lineups as well.
Yes, we do. So we have people coming in, comedians coming in from Indonesia, from Singapore. Some of these will be familiar names, but some also are unusual names. And I think we're all looking forward to hearing this, and especially when Harith is on your show in a short while, hopefully. Yeah. So actually, from ASEAN, he's bringing in 16 people. Altogether, he's flying in 43 comedians. And in all, the entire genre will have 60 comedians.
Wow.
So
and
we're
it's
gonna
all over the world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The comedians.
The US,
I can see some of the names that has been printed here. Some of the countries from England, USA, Australia, India, and of course you mentioned earlier Southeast Asia.
New Zealand, South Africa.
Awesome.
We've got an amazing lineup coming for you.
I
and
guess-
also South Korea.
Don't forget that.
And so what's happening is that we're starting the comedy festival on Malaysia Day, 16th, and it will last for 1 week.
Right.
So visitors, audience, any fans of comedy, you only have 1 week to go out as many times as possible to catch all of the comedians.
Wow. So after the 1 week, our cheeks gonna be really hurt because after
Our stomach will
laughing
be
and
hurt.
exactly.
But that's on the comedy side. For those who fancy something more traditional, you also have an event catered to those
Our
enthusiasts.
traditional genre is very strong, I feel. It's curated by Edin Koo and Pauline Fan from Pusaka. A lot of people would have heard of Pusaka. The website is cinepusaka.com. But they've spent years of their lives promoting traditional performing arts. We've got many first-time performances coming to Kuala Lumpur, including from Vietnam, Myanmar, Qawwali from Pakistan, Mugam from Azerbaijan. We've got 3 UNESCO living treasures coming to perform. And for local performances, we've got 100% DK Barat, Mak Yong, Kuda Kepang, Wayang Kulit. It's Cucu Puppetry.
And these are authentic performance by the locals.
That's right. Yeah, we've got very, very talented local performing artists, and we really want to turn the spotlight and the stage over to them to show what they have.
Wow.
And I can't help to see the word water puppet theatre. If you may enlighten me what exactly it is.
This is quite iconic, and a lot of visitors from Vietnam have seen this. They actually build a water stage. So there's
Oh.
actually water, and the puppets
So
are
we
on
will
the
have
Yeah.
water stage?
Yes, that's right. They're going to do this at Kuash Auditorium.
Is this
And,
sort of aquarium sort of set? Oh, wow.
Kuash Theatre in
Yeah.
Paddington? They're actually going to build like a little shallow water stage,
Uh-huh.
and the puppets will be performing on it.
Oh,
How are they going to do that?
Well, this will be the first time they're coming to Kuala Lumpur.
That's
so we're soon
beautiful.
going to find out how much trouble it is.
So, is that the only puppetry performance, or are there other forms of puppetry performance?
There's also Teochew puppetry
Mm.
as well, and this is coming down from Penang, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a highly acclaimed puppet theatre, and the master puppeteer Lingo will be performing as well. Will be participating, not performing.
Wow, so it touches a lot of traditional value from different countries in Southeast Asia, and it really does highlight the value and also the elements that we hold as, as a Southeast Asian.
That's true. And besides that, you also have someone from Azerbaijan and Pakistan. So what's the difference between traditional performance by, our local regional culture and those from Central Asia and South Asia?
I'm glad you're inviting Edin Koo from Pusaka down for another interview, because he will be able to describe this much more. But the performers from Mugam and the Qawwali, the Mugam singers from Azerbaijan, Alim Kazimov, and the Qawwali singers from Pakistan, Mir Ali and Sher Ali, they are renowned worldwide. They have been critically acclaimed by critics from the New York Times, from the Guardian. This will be their first time to Malaysia, and we're tremendously honoured that Edin, through his contacts, through the goodwill that they have in this space, that they've been able to invite these people down, and that we'll be able to host them. It's a great honour for us.
That is amazing. I'm just dumbfounded at how did you manage to get so many people?
Exactly, there's so many acts, performances.
Two things I believe very strongly in. Number one, working with a strong team. You're only as strong as your team is going to be. Nobody can do this on their own.
That is true.
And I'm proud to say that I'm really working with an A-list team. The curators have invested decades of their lives in their field, in their chosen field. They're not only incredibly talented, they're dedicated, they're committed, and this has been recognized in their field. So they have a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues that they can call on. For someone like Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, how did he curate 12 different programs? It was as simple as a few phone calls and a few emails.
To us will be all the bureaucracy.
Impossible.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Pauline, with Michael Virapan, with Hare, with what's the last one? Harith
Iskandar.
Same thing with all of them. This is it's so easy for them to organize this, and through their decades of experience, they also can curate this very effectively. They know exactly what the audience wants to see and hear and be entertained by.
Another critically acclaimed curator that you have invited to create this diversity would be on the dance category, which is Datuk Ramli Ibrahim. So what kind of dance performance that he will be providing at that day?
Datuk Ramli is tremendously recognized all around the world. He's not just our UNESCO living treasure, but he has, over the past 3 decades, performed in over 200 cities in the world. So, and to audiences of hundreds of thousands, mainly in India, where he's also received one of the highest arts awards from the President of India. But due to his commitment to his art, due to his excellence in his craft, he has gained a lot of respect from other dance practitioners. So when he curated this program, he wanted to invite a little bit of different genres in dance itself. Dua Space is a multi-award winning very strong contemporary dance theatre company. Alam was the winner of the first Malaysia So You Think You Can Dance competition, and he is coming up with a very unusual hip-hop dance production, Pak Pandir Yo.
Oh,
I know.
I grew up with Pak Pandir. I mean, I think all of us in Malaysia. Oh, how is that going to be? I would just imagine it in my own mind.
Well, not only are these brand new festival commissioned full-length works, 90-minute works, but they're only going to be showing for like 5 or 6 performances.
Oh, right.
Yes. And there will be a change almost every week, if not more than, because some of them are only having 2 shows or 1 show. So if you want to catch them, you have to make sure you get your tickets well in advance.
Wow.
And we've given dance the 2 best theatres in KL, which is Istana Budaya and Auditorium DBKL.
And how many? What's the number of performers for the dance?
The number of performers involved in dance. That's an interesting question. There are about 38 coming in from overseas. Right? And for local, I think Alam, for example, is still trying to fine-tune how big it's going to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if he puts maybe 100 people on the stage. Yeah.
So it's going to be a musical type of dance, or mainly individuals performing?
I'm sure when Dr. Ramli is on your show, he'll be able to describe it in a lot more detail, because they're still in the creative process, because these are all new works. So I would say it's going to be a bit of a musical, but I want to leave it to them to describe.
Sure.
But so for dance, we've got 19 people coming in from India, 18 from Taiwan, because the Guoguang opera is going to be making its debut in Malaysia, and 1 from Netherlands.
All the way from Netherlands.
You mean traditional?
Contemporary.
Contemporary.
It's going to be a contemporary dance showcase, and we're also working with the Malaysian Society for Contemporary Composers.
Right, that's so awesome.
Anyway, we'll take another one short break. When it comes to this 3rd segment, we will discuss more about the activities that you'll be expecting at Diversecity 2015.
Anything can happen Friday. The art and cultural side of Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
Of course, with us again on discussion about diversity with Datin, Sunita. And so, continuing our discussion with all the different acts and performance for the day, that particular day, diversity itself. And one of the area that is kind of interesting to me especially is literature. And to me it's interesting because you mentioned off air that you focus mainly on Malay literature, which hasn't get that much of a highlight like in the past.
I think Malay literature has some extraordinarily powerful works in them. For me personally, I'm a big fan of Osman Awang's works.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very pleased to see what Hare Ngadiran is doing at Institut Terjemahan. A lot of people don't realize he used to be a corporate lawyer and a lecturer, And now he's heading up our National Translation Institute. I think he's recognized that in a society where not many people read any longer, unless it's very short, 140, 160 character bites.
Can only do pantun dua karat, perhaps.
So I think he's recognized that to get people interested in the power of language, he needs to also venture out into the spoken word. So for this festival, he's curated an unbelievable lineup of people who are going to recite poetry. They're monologuists. They're going to work off, I think, not just traditional but also contemporary pieces of work. And we're going to be able to all share in the power of the written word. So I think this is one genre that personally I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
He's flying in people from all over ASEAN. We've got 25 writers and poets coming in. The most from Indonesia, where there are 6. And yes, the focus is mainly going to be on the Malay language, Bahasa Malaysia. But for the Poets Forum, it's going to be conducted in English, so that visitors from other parts of the world can follow the proceedings.
So the creator is Muhammad Khair, and he will also bring in Malaysian poets as well. Perhaps, do you know any?
I'd like to leave it to him to describe that. He has given me the names, but I'm not sure whether the lineup has been completely confirmed yet. So I would rather not say who exactly is in the lineup. I tend to leave each curator to describe their own, but they have to run through the program lineup and the budget with me.
Sure.
That's how I work.
So we've run through 4 elements of Diversity 2015, but we're left with the one more element.
Yeah, but before that one element, I think under literature you also have another 2 more acts. One is wayang kulit, another one is a Japanese performance. Perhaps you want to share more about it?
Actually, that is going to be one act only.
Oh, it's one act.
Yeah, it's actually a combined performance.
I see.
Yeah, this has been staged twice before in Malaysia, and both times it was to standing room only. It was so tremendously popular, and so that's why Hair wanted to have this done again. This is actually almost like a voice-off between Kelantanese wayang kulit and Ido Ito Ayat Suri from Japan, which is Japanese puppets. Yeah, so it's going to be an unbelievable experience. Where you get puppets and wayang kulit having this conversation almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it'll
It's
be
very
an experience for all of us.
Every time it's been staged here, people have been standing along the aisles.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that again.
So when it comes to the venue for the different performances, how people can know more about the programs and the whole venue and location?
So we're about to finalize the full lineup. The draft program book, which you see before you, is already 12 pages long. And it's done in the form of a weekend planner, because we would really like to see visitors from ASEAN especially coming in and spending weekends in Kuala Lumpur.
Right.
From first thing in the morning with photography exhibitions that we're organizing, workshops, interviews, masterclasses, lecture demonstrations, and matinee performances, up to the 8:30 primetime show, which is going to run for full 90 minutes without an intermission, and then 10:30 you can catch independent bands performing at jazz clubs in the evening. So we'd like to invite visitors from ASEAN to come to Kuala Lumpur, spend a weekend here. Half of the tickets are going to be free, and really enjoy yourself, appreciating the culture that we are going to showcase.
And for
yes.
the younger generation,
Yep.
you also cater some entertainment for them. Oh, I wouldn't say entertainment, I would say art. And you have a few music line for them. Perhaps you want to share more about it.
Well, I think the younger generation can enjoy all of the entertainment across the board. For younger than that visitors, we're going to indicate which are the kid-friendly shows that they can go to.
All right.
Also, there's a PG there. It's like,
Well,
PG-18.
not PG, but there's going to be like a little kid symbol that shows that
that's
you
so
know, this is a
adorable.
child-friendly.
This is for you. You should go there.
Right, yeah. So that's why the weekend planner is very important for us. So I think the genre that you're referring to is music. Now, for music, Michael Veerapan's vision was that he wanted mega music concerts out in the open. So we're looking at concerts in Lake Gardens. We're looking at Dataran Merdeka or Titiwangsa Lake. We're looking at the stadium for a rock band concert. We're trying to make these concerts either free or very, very affordable.
So the idea is to reach out to the general public, and of course to families as well, with the kid logo, whatever you call it. But share with us more about the different kind of music festival that will be part of the music genre.
Okay, so we've got a rock concert at the stadium, and this is where Michael, you'll be able to see on the website, Michael actually has got a fantastic lineup of bands that are coming to perform, mainly Malay rock bands, but I think he wanted to invite some Indian and Chinese rock bands as well. I will leave that to him when he's on the radio interview to describe in more detail, because he's so passionate about these musicians.
Sure.
Then we also have a ASEAN Jazz Festival at Lake Gardens, where the canopy is, with the beautiful lake and the water feature in the background. So this again is going to be an open air concert, and Michael himself is a jazz musician, so it wasn't difficult for him to invite some of the top names in jazz to come down.
And
then
he's
the next
also
day is going to be the ASEAN Percussion Festival.
What is nice.
Drums,
Ah.
drumming rhythm section.
Yeah.
So he's got a multiple lineup again for that, and that's also going to be at Lake Garden. The big closing act for the entire festival is the ASEAN Pops Festival.
Right.
Well, we were originally going to do that in Dataran Merdeka, and the venue was confirmed, but due to a scheduling clash, we're still trying to work out whether it'll be at Dataran or possibly at Titiwangsa by the lake.
Right.
Yeah, that might be very interesting as well. And for that, for the first time ever, the National Symphony Orchestra, which is housed at Istana Budaya, will be presenting the ASEAN Pops Festival. And there's going to be a lineup of about 8 pop artists. So everyone is going to enjoy pops with a twist, set to classical music arrangements. It's going to be amazing.
It's
It
going to be
is.
amazing. There's so many events happening, at some of it at the same time, but throughout that whole week. How can people go from one venue to another venue? Let's say I went to the dance festival and I enjoyed, but then I want to go to the rock concert at night. Is there an interconnected, like either a guidebook or perhaps some transportation that bring people to and fro, satellite
So
bus or
we've got
something?
a few things that we've got in the works. Number one, we're going to have a smartphone app. So it's easy for you to actually plan your weekend. For every weekend night in the 5 weeks, we've got at least 8 to 16 shows every night that you can go to, and we want you to go to as many as possible. So our planner and our smartphone app is going to make it easy for you to choose which shows you want to go to. Number two, we've hooked up with Uber. They've been a great sponsor. It was so easy for them to make a decision to be able to support this festival. And the details of the promotion are already up on the website. But to summarize, a new user will be able to get up to 80 ringgit worth of credit for rides in KL. So again, visitors from ASEAN, come to Kuala Lumpur. We're trying to take care of you in many ways as possible.
So through Uber, they can travel anywhere in between shows?
Well, you have to download the app. You've got to. There's a certain credit for each ride. So there are a few things that you need to do, but basically, yes, your ground arrangements will be sorted.
So this is not the usual festival that we always go to. It is also it's extraordinary concert or whole month of festival that we can expect. So I will say it's better to prepare ourselves beforehand to go to this a whole month of festival. Sort out your schedules beforehand, and then bring your families and friends, not only from Malaysia but all over the world if you can, and invite them over.
And with that, what's the future for diversity after 2015? I know I'm asking a question like what is ASEAN post 2015, but what's diversity post 2015?
I think that's an excellent question, Arlene. I think on multiple levels again. So number one, yes, of course we want it to be bigger in the sense of more visitors, more venues, more shows. We want it to be better in the sense that more landmark performances. For the first year, we've already pulled off an extraordinary job. If we do have 200 shows and maybe another 100 more daytime activities, that is a tremendous achievement for the first year. And remember, this is just a group of friends working together.
Correct.
We're not professional event managers. We don't have a big budget. It's not a government-run festival. This is really private individuals trying to make a difference. So if we can push the standards better next year and have landmark shows being staged, and you'll be pleased to know that I'm already in discussions for that. What we can do for Diversity 2016.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are huge shows coming up that is going to just wow everyone, I think. So yes, we want to push the envelope on a few fronts. So in terms of numbers, in terms of number of acts, in terms of quality of acts, and of course in terms of showcasing Kuala Lumpur as a very credible tourist destination. This festival is going to spotlight visitor attention to that 1 month in the year. You telescope down to this month and you come to Malaysia, come to Kuala Lumpur, and you'll be able to really see the culture, the lifestyle, the arts, the true diversity of the country. You won't just be walking around looking at physical infrastructure. You'll be experiencing performances. You'll be sitting next to friendly Malaysians. And you'll be able to see for yourself how very diverse our culture and society is.
So, in a way, right now, if people want to share this information to their friends, where they can get more information about diversity?
So our website is www.diversecity.my. Each of the genres have their own websites as well.
Wow.
We have a Facebook page. Without doing anything, we've already had thousands of views and hundreds of likes. I didn't check before this interview, but when I last saw a week ago, it was like a little over 500. And this is without any promotion. It's just word of mouth. So we're doing quite well in getting the word out. Right now we've already started on bulk sales. So if there are groups of people that want to come from ASEAN or from outside Kuala Lumpur, please get in touch with us because we can organize group packages for you.
Through the Facebook page.
Yeah. And anyway, get in touch with us. Anyway,
do you have a hashtag or something that people can follow?
Hashtag will start Diversity KL will start in September itself. But through any of our social media, you can get in touch with us through our website, through the Facebook page, through Twitter, anywhere at all.
I mean, I'm quite overwhelmed with all these stories and then the expectations and what we can, see and watch and go and perhaps participate in every categories that, we can expect from Diversity 2015. And perhaps you and I, Arlene, we just definitely go there and, bring friends and not only music, but any just categories, literature, and broaden our knowledge as well.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many issues regarding on politics, race and religion in Malaysia. Why don't we just stop, just read the news for a while and just focus on social cultural events in Southeast Asia, and of course with the focus on diversity, where there's more to life than just politics. There's arts and culture and human society. Thank you very much, Datin,
Thank you.
Sunita.
Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome.